thinking about
yeah,
wrestling.
bro, for him to go through that transformation, he ain't coming back to wrestling anytime soon, if at all.
Yeah.
If at all, bro. So
True. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here with Vince Russo for yet another episode of Writing With Russo. What's going on, Vince? How are
what
you, man?
is going on, Dr. Chris? Always something to talk about, bro. You know, as minuscule and non-important and ridiculous as it is, there's, I guess, always something to talk about.
Yeah, man, especially after the news I found out today and regarding close family. And you know, at the end of the day, it's just wrestling is just such a turd part of my everyday life, man.
It is. Yeah, Chris, I swear I was watching episode 4 of Unreal the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all about how they came up with the idea of Cena to turn heel.
Mm-hmm.
So these freaking idiots are all patting each other on the back of what a great idea it is. And they're all staking claim to the idea. Little did they know that 6 months later, this episode is going to come out and you're all going to look like a bunch of idiots who didn't know what you're doing. But my point is, Chris, they're going through the process of how they came up with the idea. Bro, you would have thought it was the world leaders meeting as to whether or not to hit the button for World War III. I swear to God, they were so consumed with this. And I'm watching this and I'm like, guys, this is a television show. This is an angle for a television show. But I swear to God, bro, these people in the business and in the bubble that have made this their be all end all, man. And bro, I'm telling you, they're going to turn around one day when it's too late and the time has passed them by. And they're going to take that second and they're going to say, what the F was I thinking, man? Because it is all, especially when you talk about what you had experienced today, it is a form of entertainment. That is all it is. This is not freaking life and death, bro.
Yeah. Sadly, you know, we're in a culture when it comes to pro wrestling that this is people's lives, man. And you know, but I know one thing, it's not mine. And but you know, I'm blessed. I'm super blessed to be able to have an opportunity to work with you, Vince, and I'm so blessed to have an opportunity to get paid well to talk about these things. And I think, you know, people's passion, man, when it comes to this business, anybody has a passion for something, man, you really need to spend time to see how can I transcend this into just not, you know, how can I spend my time wisely? How can I use this passion to help other people? And, you know, growing up being a pro wrestling fan for many years of my life. I mean, you know, it's been 40 now, just about 40 years. And I started watching pro wrestling as a little bitty kid. And it's when my great grandma passed in about 30 years ago now. Actually, I think the month, actually. Wow. It's crazy even thinking about that too. But, you know, I know one thing that I promised to her was, I'm going to keep watching wrestling for you. And, you know, I was blessed for her to my brother and I, my brother's just a year younger than me. And she was back there with the cane, throwing it to the TV because it was so real. The character is so real. And so, you know, when people ask me like, why is my critique so harsh about today's pro wrestling? It's because I remember as a kid, it was so infectious. It was so it had such that appeal to it. Because of where my mind is, I'm getting lost, you know, for words as far as just explaining it. But it was just really awe-inspiring. It was just, it had that type of appeal and that feel to it. And just knowing that nowadays it's all these things, that's my biggest criticism because of these things, and it's having this behind the scenes and the Cena turn and all the, all the times that they were talking about it. Like you mentioned, the Unreal. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard about it, and it's just like, man, in the grander scheme of things, people should love wrestling for the sake of just understanding how amazing the product can be when it's really good, and the feeling that it draws from people. But nowadays, man, people are just so immersed in the product that they don't really know how to differentiate the two. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we see nowadays with that. What do you think about let me ask you this about Cena, since we're talking about Cena. What do you think he thinks about his heel turn? His overall last year run. We're month 9 of his run. What do you think he thinks about it?
Well, he's got to think the first half of it was totally wasted.
Mm.
Bro, listen, obviously something went down behind the scenes we don't know about. There was some kind of a falling out, with Rock, and they were not able to see this thing through, I guess, the way they thought they were going to see it through. But it's really unfortunate for Cena because this was it. Like, this was the last run, and they wasted half of his time in an angle that went absolutely nowhere. They didn't try to cover it, and he just lost a lot of time, not to mention what he probably lost in merch money, for a couple of months there. But bro, I swear to God, when you watch this Unreal and you watch the guys on the top coming up with this, and they think they're so smart and they're so brilliant, and meanwhile here we are. It was such a big total flop. And you know what, bro? Even if at the last minute there was a falling out with Triple H and Rock, and even if plans change, okay, if you are a writer or you are creative, then you figure out a way to try to make sense out of it. Bro, a lot of times wrestling like life, Chris, we got to deal with the cards that are dealt. So if it did not work out the way you wanted it to work out, that's fine. But we've now got to try to make sense of this. And they didn't even attempt to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And along with that, Vince, we recently saw The Rock, losing 60 pounds. The Rock 60 pounds lighter. Just really goes to show to me personally that just even the persona of The Rock, he's not even willing to uphold anymore. I know that a couple months ago he had an interview, talking about his health and things like that, and finding some things on about his health. But it just makes me wonder if just that huge transformation is basically showing us that he's just done. Like he's not even thinking about.
Yeah,
wrestling.
bro, for him to go through that transformation, he ain't coming back to wrestling anytime soon, if at all.
Yeah.
If at all, bro. So
yeah. Because you got to keep a look, right? And that's what he's been doing with being, muscular and his appearance. But what we've seen, he doesn't look terrible, but he doesn't look like that, The Rock. He doesn't look like the persona of the Rock.
Bro, the good news is there's a bright side to this. Thank God they got AJ Lee to step in The Rock's.
That's it right there. Absolutely.
Thank God, bro.
Yes, indeed.
Thank God AJ Lee will slip right in The Rock's shoes and will never miss a beat, bro.
That's right. Never miss a beat, ladies and gentlemen.